1953. A British mother opens a magazine. On page 7, there's an advertisement showing a doctor in a white coat holding a cigarette. The headline reads, "More doctors smoke Craven A than any other brand." She turns the page. Another ad. A smiling child, maybe 6 years old, handing his father a pack of cigarettes. The tagline, "Start them young." This wasn't hidden. This wasn't underground. This was mainstream British advertising. For decades, tobacco companies targeted children, pregnant women, and families with messages that today would result in criminal charges. This is the story of 15 British cigarette ads that shaped a generation and killed millions. Let's start with the doctors. In the 1940s and 50s, British tobacco companies faced a problem. People were starting to worry about coughing, about shortness of breath. So the industry did something brilliant and evil. They hired doctors. Craven A, Senior Service, and Players Navy Cut all ran campaigns featuring physicians in white coats, holding cigarettes, smiling. The message was clear. If doctors smoke, it must be safe. Some ads went further. Soothing to the throat, claimed one. Recommended for asthma sufferers, said another. In 1952, Reader's Digest published a study linking smoking to lung cancer. The tobacco industry's response: more doctor ads. 9 out of 10 doctors prefer our brand. It worked. British smoking rates soared. By 1960, over 70% of British men smoked. The doctors? Many of them died of lung cancer. Then there were the children. This is where it gets darker. In the 1930s and 40s, British cigarette ads openly featured kids. Not teenagers, young children. One ad showed a toddler in a high chair, reaching for his father's cigarette pack. The caption, "Like father, like son." Another showed a schoolboy in uniform, grinning as he handed cigarettes to adults. The subtext was always the same. Cigarettes are part of growing up, part of becoming British. By the 1950s, the strategy shifted. Companies couldn't show kids smoking anymore, so they used cartoon characters. The most famous? The Strand Cigarette Man. Lonely, mysterious, cool, teens loved it. Sales exploded. The ad was eventually banned, not because it targeted kids, but because it was too effective. Pregnant women were next. Today we know smoking during pregnancy causes low birth weight, premature birth, and developmental issues. In the 1950s, British ads told pregnant women cigarettes would calm their nerves and help them relax. One ad for Du Maurier cigarettes featured a visibly pregnant woman, smiling, cigarette in hand. The tagline, "For the mother-to-be who needs a moment of peace." Another ad claimed smoking helped with morning sickness. Doctors, yes, doctors again, were quoted endorsing this. Thousands of British babies were born underweight, sickly, or worse. The tobacco companies knew. Internal documents released decades later proved they knew the risks as early as 1950. They kept advertising anyway. Let's talk about the slogans. British cigarette ads didn't just normalize smoking, they made it aspirational. "You're never alone with a Strand." "Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet." "Cool as a mountain stream." These weren't just selling tobacco. They were selling identity, masculinity, sophistication, freedom. One ad for Woodbine cigarettes, cheap working-class smokes, featured coal miners, factory workers, soldiers. The message, "Real men smoke." Another ad targeted women directly. "Reach for a Lucky instead of a Sweet." It was a weight loss pitch. Smoke instead of eating. By the 1970s, lung cancer rates in British women had tripled. Then came the sports sponsorships. Formula One, cricket, snooker, tennis. Every major British sport was plastered with cigarette logos: Embassy, Benson and Hedges, John Player Special. Kids watching the BBC on Sunday afternoons saw cigarette branding hundreds of times. It wasn't advertising. It was cultural saturation. One study found that British children as young as 6 could name more cigarette brands than car brands. The tobacco companies called it brand awareness. Child psychologists called it grooming. The sponsorships weren't banned until 2003. By then, millions of British kids had grown up associating cigarettes with heroes. Here's the part that should make you angry. The tobacco companies knew everything. In 1962, British American Tobacco's own internal research confirmed smoking caused cancer. They buried it. In 1977, Imperial Tobacco's scientists wrote a memo stating nicotine was as addictive as heroin. They suppressed it. For 50 years, these companies lied to the British public, lied to Parliament, lied to doctors. They paid scientists to publish fake studies. They funded research institutes that denied the smoking cancer link. They lobbied MPs to block regulation. And all the while, they kept running ads targeting kids, pregnant women, and the working class. The final count? Over 8 million British deaths attributed to smoking since 1950. 8 million funerals. 8 million families destroyed. And for decades, it was all perfectly legal. These ads, the doctors, the children, the pregnant women, they were approved by regulators, printed in newspapers, broadcast on television. Today, if a company tried to run even one of these ads, they'd face criminal charges, unlimited fines, and public disgrace. But back then, it was just business. This is what we let happen. This is what Britain looked like 70 years ago.